What's up out there, everybody? This is John back again. Wanted to do a follow-up video on the Blink board. I did have some people in the comments on my unboxing video did have some issues with the board. Some people were following along with that. So want to show you kind of what the problem was, why my board would just stop going, and what I've done to fix it, and kind of give you my other thoughts and opinions on the board. Okay, so now I'm going to attempt to show you what my issue was. If you've seen the unboxing video, you'll notice in the comments especially that I was talking about having some issues once I finally got comfortable enough to be in pro mode full time. I wasn't even able to go 1/8 of a mile and it would just stop on me. Almost, I thought that it was the remote losing connection with the board. So also, as well as no acceleration, I had no brakes. Luckily at that point I wasn't super comfortable with top speed, so I wasn't flying around. But anyway, so I emailed back and forth with support for Acton, and he had told me to check the wires as they go into the motor and as they go into the battery. Well, I'm thinking here and here where they actually go in. I want to apologize too for the kind of terrible lighting conditions I have. So I kind of tugged on those gently and they didn't come out. So I thought, okay, I'm fine. Went for another ride again. Got to the point where usually when I was having the problem, if I stopped, shut the board off, turned it back on, it would go. And mostly we've got some pretty rough sidewalks, so I figured maybe bumps had something to do with it. But when it wouldn't go anymore and I was far enough away from home that I didn't feel like I needed to push it all the way back home, I got to looking further, and I looked at this here, this protective netting, and you can see it's wearing away, it's rubbing on the motor. But I saw one of these little plugs loose like this. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit. One of these plugs here, and it's kind of just a friction fit. You can see it just sticks right back in if you know what you're doing. I mean, they feel pretty secure, but I plugged it back in and carried back on my way and kind of started having the same issues. So that's issue number one. Issue number two, if I unplug all of these, and I will forget which one is which. I'll show you that later. This one, there's a third one down here. I believe this is main power, and then the other two kind of control forward and reverse, which you'll see when I hook them back up. I always have to check and see to make sure I've done it right. But all three of those, if I take those off, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see this at all. Okay, now if you can see that, this is the short ends of the ones with the plugs, and these are rubbing bra. You can't really tell from the camera, but there is bare metal in there, so that's a little worrisome too. So what did I do? I emailed back to Acton support, and he told me that I should electrical tape these, which was kind of a thought I had already had, each one individually, and then tape them together to prevent any more rubbing or wearing. I did try when I put them all back together to make sure that the netting here was away from anything. I'd like to come up with a better plan to keep it up away from the motor, especially this whole thing turns when you're going, and it actually does get pretty warm. So anyway, I will tape them back up, I guess. My other problem, as I was out having fun doing the first part of this video, is I'm pretty sure that I have stripped the belt out. So I guess I'll throw that in this video as well. I'll take it off and take a look at it. I'm not sure at this point if I can order those directly from Acton yet. I know the boards are just now coming out, so I'm hoping they have replacement parts. Okay, this may be kind of hard for you to tell. I've got the wires back together. You can kind of see I taped them up. Now if I run the throttle, that would be pushing me forward. Okay, remember that? The top part went that way. If I swap these two, then you get a backwards board. This is going to go that way, which this would be the ground. See, back of the board would be going that way. If I can show you better. Okay, so you'd be shooting that way. So there's that. The other thing, I've just tweeted out to Acton because I got a little curious and started looking at my belt, and I would say that would probably explain the strange noise and lack of acceleration that I was having. That one there is probably about the height that they should be. Same with these here by my thumb. These are actually coming off too, though. Is that a vacuum belt? I don't know. Anyway, that's where I'm at. I'm gonna put these back on the right way, and then I taped these plugs together too last time. I'm gonna do that again. I think I'm gonna try to find a zip tie somewhere and just secure it all somehow back to this truck. So there you go. That's the issues that I had. Overall, I used Runtastic a few times to figure out my exact distance. The best I did, I think, was about 3.6 miles before the battery just flat out died. Again, this is made for somebody up to 220 pounds. I am 6'2", probably around 190 or 195 the last time I weighed myself. So obviously, if you're lighter, you're going to get more distance out of it. And then, like I said, the sidewalks and roads and things I've been riding on are not even at all. Up and down, there's about 6 inches, 5-6 inches, incline at each street if you're on the sidewalk. This, I'm thinking, the biggest problem with the belt was I don't always kick off as good as I should to get started, and you will hear it kind of clicking. I am impressed that this is metal here, metal gear, and then the gear on the motor itself is also metal. So this is a specialized wheel. I'm not sure if you wanted to change out your wheels how easy that would be, but I am impressed. I thought maybe that was going to be plastic and the problem would be the gears themselves. Just the belt. So if I can find a new belt, I'll be out cruising again in no time. Okay, so this video is a little later than I planned. Bottom line is, ordering direct from Acton is not the best thing in the world. They do sell a 4-pack of belts for $30. Not a bad deal. $15 shipping, which sounds a little steep to me. And my biggest problem is I ordered my belts on the 2nd. I received an email yesterday, the 10th, I believe, saying that they were out of stock and they wouldn't have them until June, which, yeah, that sucked. But then I contacted them on Twitter today and they said that they had held some for me or whatever, they're shipping them. So I copied that tweet into the email and said, what's going on? So they emailed me with tracking information, and they're not going to be here until the 16th. So 2-week wait to get new belts, and they're probably out of them now. I tried to find the belts local, but none of the vacuum shops or home improvement shops had anything that looked like it was going to work for that. So, yeah, not too pleased about that. I love the board, but if it's going to be that hard to get parts for it, we'll see just how long it's really going to last. So if you found this interesting, you liked it, have any other questions, feel free to hit me up in the comments, like, subscribe, share, post, tweet, retweet, all of the above. Have a good one. I tried